Hey guys, so today I am coming to you with some books. I stopped by Barnes & Noble. I went there specifically looking for 2 books, and I grabbed 2 others that I kind of was looking for, but like not actively. They're just things that I knew I wanted, sort of. Anyway, so what inspired my trip to the bookstore was this is called The Gift of Fear. I haven't started reading any of these yet. I went and now I'm showing you guys. But this is The Gift of Fear. I like to watch on YouTube. There are a few people that narrate Reddit stories. I prefer the ones that have the comments and responses. I mean, not responses, updates. More so updates than comments, because some of the comments is like, people that don't listen to the whole thing or will read the whole thing, and it's annoying. But anyway, so there was one in particular, and it was talking about like women getting out of abusive relationships and stuff like that. And I personally have gotten out of one. So I was going through the comments as one does, and someone was mentioning, pretty much all women should read The Gift of Fear. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know, I just felt compelled to go get the book. So, yeah. The Gift of Fear, Survival Signals That Protect Us from Violence by Gavin DeBaker. A how-to book that reads like a thriller, provocative, empowering. Boston Globe. Let's see. A stranger in a deserted parking lot offers to help carry everyone's groceries. Is he a good Samaritan, or does he have an ulterior motive? A fired employee says you'll be sorry. Will he return with a gun? A man tells a woman after their first date it's their destiny to be married. What will he do when she won't see him again? A mother has an uneasy feeling about a new nanny she's hired. She should stay home from work today. No one is guaranteed safety from violence these days, but we can protect ourselves by learning to trust and act on our own sixth sense about danger. So Gavin DeBaker is the nation's leading expert on predicting violent behavior. In this groundbreaking book, he unlocks the puzzle of human violence and shows that, like every creature on Earth, we have within us the ability to predict danger and get out of its way. Through dozens of compelling examples, DeBaker sounds like I'm saying Baker. DeBaker teaches us how to use our most basic, too often discounted survival skill, our intuition. The Gift of Fear is at once a profoundly insightful exploration of human behavior and a uniquely practical guide to leading a safer life, more free and unwarranted fear. Okay. Gavin DeBaker is widely regarded as the nation's foremost authority on the protection of public figures. His 900-person firm advises and protects many of the most prominent people and families in the world. He designed the Mosaic Threat Assessment Period method used to analyze threats to justices in the U.S. Supreme Court and members of Congress, and his work has earned him 3 presidential appointments, in addition to advising many law enforcement and government agencies on predicting violence. DeBaker's firm also serves regular citizens who are victims of domestic abuse and stalking. The Gift of Fear has been published in 18 languages. That's good. Now, see how many pages is this? There are 344 pages. So, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Maxey. I found him on Instagram through a friend. She posted on her stories a piece of his artwork and saying, and so I started following him, and I just really like them. They've made me feel nice. They're very nice. But yeah, and then I noticed on his Instagram he mentioned an actual book, because I was looking. I was like, oh, all these things. I wonder if he has an actual book. And then there it was, the book. So, the world that I'm required to inhabit is this one, but the world that I long to inhabit is the one that Charlie Maxey has created. Elizabeth Gilbert. Love, friendship, and kindness. This book speaks a universal language. Bear Grylls. A wonderful work of art and a wonderful window into the human heart. Richard Curtis. Simply the world needs Charlie's work right now. Miranda Hart. Which I actually agree with. I agree with all of those. It's a very endearing book. I mean, I haven't read it yet, but based on what I've seen on his Instagram, it's very endearing. All of the sayings are very uplifting. They're very grounding, and just kind of, if you need to refocus or just are feeling a certain type of way, I think you should probably read some because it's just nice. And this book is dedicated to my lovely, kind mom and my wonderful dog, Dill. Oh, dog. Here you go. So yeah, and also like I do love that it's just handwriting. That looks so nice. Now at Barnes & Noble, there's one with a blue spine, and then this one has the yellow. I don't really know what the difference is. The blue one I think was a little bit more. It was like $1 more or $2 more. It was a little bit more. Anyway, you know, I kind of wish I still remembered how to read music so that I could know what this sounds like. That's playing through the front and the back. But alas, I don't. Oh, that's so... This one. That's beautiful. Oh, I would turn to this page first. It says, I've realized why we're here, whispered the boy. For cake? Asked the mole. To love, said the boy. And be loved, said the horse. Well, like there's just like little small cute sweet things like that. I just love those things. Those things are me. If you're an astrology person, my sun is in Cancer, so like, you know. If you're not an astrology person, just like this. I like love. Anyway, the next 2 books I got are for language learning. I mentioned last time I talked about books that I got that I was trying to learn some languages, revisit some. And I stopped in the bookstore and I was like, well, maybe let me see if I can do like a workbook because, you know, practice makes perfect. So first I got Chinese stories for language learners. Now I have been really obsessed with Chinese dramas. I prefer the historical dramas, but I found one show that I'm looking at right now that is not a drama. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it's with Jing and Mr. Yu. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, but like I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I'm also recently I started watching The Brocade and the Sword, which is really nice and sweet. And but yeah, of course I watch Rui's Royal Love in the Palace and Yangshi Palace. Those ones are so good. I hate the emperor. He's the worst husband in the entire world. Anyway, like basically, you know, the English and the Chinese version, and pretty much the characters are what you really need to know, regardless of whether you're speaking Cantonese or Mandarin. That way you can know what it is. But the characters are the things that I'm finding to be the hardest thing to learn because it's a lot of line work. And when I look at it, I'm just like, oh, it looks very nice. It's very intricate. Looks like it takes a lot of skill. And I just can't remember which one I just saw. Like, and I feel slightly bad about it, but then I'm like, you know, it's been a while since you tried to learn a language, and Mandarin is said to be in the top 3 or 5 or whatever, in the top hardest languages to learn. So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah. And the last one, also in the top hardest languages to learn, is I have Arabic character writing. Now this, I haven't started I haven't started looking at Arabic on an app or anything, but one of my friends, she started doing Arabic on Duolingo. I've actually started doing Mandarin on Memrise. I have to get consistent with it, that's the thing. But I've always really liked Arabic. I've always had a thing, like, I've always had this thing, like, with Egypt. Now, obviously, Arabic's not the only language spoken in Egypt. But also, my papa is in the military and he went to Saudi Arabia a few times and he brought back an Arabic necklace for my Nana. I have one, my sister has one. I think my aunt has one, I'm not sure, but I have my Nana's Arabic necklace. And I'm like, you know, it'd be nice if I know it's hers and I know mine is mine, but like, it'd be nice if I could actually read it and, you know, write it, because I do like Arabic, I'd like to learn. So I was like, well, a lot of people use the For Dummies books, and I mean, you know, it's, you know, seems pretty straightforward. Straightforward is not the word I'm looking for, but it seems, you know, like it's very simplified. I mean, it says For Dummies, it should be simplified. Anyway, I just figured this would be a good place to start. So, don't hound me about how I'm doing with languages, but you know, if you would like to pop in and ask every once in a while, like, you know, if I've learned a new word or something, you can go ahead, because I'll probably go learn one after you mention it. But yeah, that was it. Just a few books, not a lot. I did find a new manga to read. I'm reading Green Layers now. I like it. I pulled it up on, I like reading things on manga here because I do like having the actual book. But right now space is a little bit of an issue, so I'm like, well, right now I can just read all of them online, so eventually then I'll start collecting the books again. So yeah, right now I'm reading Green Layers. I finished reading what was out, so I have to wait for the next chapter. But bookstores are always good for finding new manga, because I mean, I find them on manga here, but like sometimes then it's just a lot. Anyways, so yeah. Let me know recently if you've picked anything up from the bookstore or if you've read. Oh. So, yeah, that was it. So, yeah, let me know if you have read The Gift of Fear, what you thought of it. And let me know if you're learning Mandarin or Arabic or you actually speak those. And let me know if you're familiar with Charlie Mackesy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of those books, if you're reading them, if you've got anything you want to recommend to me. I prefer manga to novels. Novels are really hard to keep my attention, which is why I don't read a lot of them. But manga's great. When I was recovering from my concussion, I just went to the library, picked up a bunch of manga, and I was doing really well. It was good. So, yeah, I will see you guys next time.